Jacqueline Sarkeesian is live at the scene with the latest. Jacqueline, what can you tell us?
Hey guys, well, I just got here a few minutes ago, but take a look. There is a massive fire that AFD is trying to knock out. This was first reported about 30 minutes ago, and several crews are here on scene. You can just see all of those flames right now. I'm told that this was a condo that was being built, very early stages of construction. Just the framing was up right now. We're hearing a lot of popping noises, so it appears that something is exploding, but nothing massive. But we do know that AFD is here on scene working to knock out this huge fire, first reported about 30 minutes ago, and this is located in the 4000 block of Bannister Lane in South Austin. As I was driving here from the station, I can just see all the flames from the downtown area. We did speak with a couple of people, or we're about to speak with some residents who live nearby. Jennifer and Craig, good morning. How close do you guys live next to this fire?
We live just across the street.
And so did you hear it? You saw it?
I woke up because I felt heat coming through our window, and we keep it cool at night, and I couldn't figure out what it was. The ceiling fan was still on, but when I woke up, I realized that there was orange flickering from behind the blinds. I pulled back the blinds and saw the building across the street on fire.
And this, once again, was just a condo that was just being built.
That is correct. It was just the framing, it's really early stages. Yeah.
So you guys saw what was happening. You immediately came outside, and that's good because AFD was telling people to evacuate and get out of their homes, whatnot.
It was actually a resident. I think it was someone in my building. He was running around, and he was kind of playing the part as the town crier. I don't know if AFD ever knocked on anyone's door or not, but I do know that we woke about the time that we were getting our stuff together to leave the building. We could hear someone else banging on doors, saying there's a fire in the building.
Yeah, and we saw AFD evacuating and went out of West Open by the time the firemen arrived, or they start coming down this way. The tenants started jumping out of the apartment over there is where we live.
And so when you guys saw how massive this was, were you just shocked?
Huge.
Yes.
Shocked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I had no idea. I mean, I said our station is downtown, and you can see it driving from downtown.
Yeah, it was a fireball. From my window, it was just a ball of fire.
Yeah, we just opened up the blinds and just nothing but flames.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
and we just want to show you guys there are a lot of residents out from their homes. You can just take a look at all of these people standing by, kind of also in shock. They can't believe what they're seeing. We know that Austin Energy had to come out here and turn off some of the power because some of the power poles were on fire, and you guys said your power is also out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our energy went out about the time that we left the building.
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys. Glad you're safe. And of course, since it's still in the very early stages, we have no idea how this fire started. Back to you guys in studio.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you very much.
This morning, Jacqueline Sarkeesian is live on scene with the latest. Jacqueline, what do we know?
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, we did speak with the Austin Fire Department, and one of the commander chiefs tells me that it's going to be a long time before they talk with the media and give us more information. But we know that this massive fire started about an hour from now. It was a condo that was being built, still in the very beginning stages of construction. Some of the nearby residents say only the framing was up right now, but we know that some of the power poles have caught on fire. You can see some of the embers still on those poles. So Austin Energy was called out to turn off the power because of that. We've seen cars on fire, and several crew members with the Austin Fire Department are here on scene battling this massive fire, trying to get it out as quickly as possible. I came across Kimia here. She lives in an apartment complex directly behind this fire, and now you're saying part of those units are on fire as well.
Yeah, so apparently the police came and knocked on everyone's door to alert them to get out and stuff, but I personally didn't hear anything. I just woke up because the electricity went out, and I heard some footsteps and everything, and it was super light outside, so I looked through my window. I saw this huge flames going on, and then I just grabbed my phone and walked out, and initially I didn't see anything, but then as I was driving back, because it was closed with all the fire trucks, I had to turn around and go through another route. And as I was going back, some of the apartments closer to the construction site seemed like they're on fire, or if not the apartments, there are definitely trees, and just everything was fire gushing in there, and it was just scary to wake up and just see the fire. It was like one of the
Yeah, I
scariest
bet.
moments, yeah.
And you just moved here from LA, and you haven't been here very long.
No, I've only been here since July, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this pans out for me, and yeah.
Were you taken aback how massive this fire was? Because our station's located downtown, and driving here, we can see it from downtown.
Absolutely. Like when I looked through my window, it was by far the most surreal thing. Like just flames gushing everywhere, and it was really scary. It was a huge fire and it was like really close to everyone, and there wasn't any alarm going off, so which made it a little bit more scary. Like what if I hadn't woken up or things like that? But thankfully, I don't know if everyone got out safe or not, but the police was trying to wake up everyone at that moment when I left.
Yeah, and when you came out, did you just see a lot of people just running out of their apartments? What was it like?
Yeah, I personally was panicking, so I just got in my car and started crying. I called my boyfriend and he calmed me down and stuff, and then they closed some of the gates, so the people can't get out. But I finally found some route, so now I'm just parked half a mile away from here by a gas station.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're okay, Kimi. And you guys, there are a lot of people standing by trying to figure out what's going on, what happened. We know that AFD is working very hard to stop this fire from spreading, and at this point we still don't know what caused this fire, how it started, but AFD says it is going to be a very long time before we get that information. Back to you.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you very much. First, the South Austin apartment complex is on fire this morning. Crews are working to put out those flames. Let's go out live to Jacqueline Sarkeesian.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, crews are still out here. The fire is still going pretty strongly. We know that this fire broke out just around 3 o'clock in the morning. This location is in the 4000 block of Bannister Lane near US 290 and Loop 360. Bannister Lane is currently shut down as crews work to knock out this fire. And several neighbors had to evacuate, and a lot of them say that they knew what was happening because they felt the heat from this fire move over to where they live. Officials said the building was under construction when its framework went up and caught on fire. We know that this was a condo that was being built, still in the early stages of construction. Austin Energy is also out here on scene, and currently about 1,000 of their customers have no power. They had to cut off the power because several of the power poles caught on fire as well. So crews are going to be out here for a very long time as they continue to knock out this fire, but thankfully we haven't heard of any reported injuries, and at this point we still don't know what started this. Reporting live in South Austin, Jacqueline Sarkeesian, Fox 7 Austin News.
Jacqueline Sarkeesian live at the scene with more. Morning, Jacqueline.
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, I know that we all heard that press conference just about 30 minutes ago explaining to us what happened. We still don't know what caused this fire, and AFD says it will be a very long time before we get that information. But Austin Energy is out here as well because more than 1,000 customers are without power, so they're working to contain that issue. You can see that a majority of the fire is out. A lot of those flames are gone now, but AFD is still here managing for any hot spots and still watering down this area. The initial fire started from the building or the framework of a 3-story condo complex that was in the process of being built. It was just wood that burned, and that's kind of why it spread so badly, is because it was only wood. We know that 2 apartment buildings also were affected. AFD says those 2 apartment buildings are considered a total loss. There's a possibility of 2 or 3 other buildings that are partially burned, and we know that 8 vehicles burned as well. Several surrounding agencies are here assisting AFD. We've also got Austin Police here on scene. We spoke with a couple of residents who live nearby where this fire started, and they kind of shared with us what they saw when they first heard what was going on.
When I looked through my window, it was by far the most surreal thing. Just flames gushing everywhere, and it was really scary. It was a huge fire and it was really close to everyone.
It was a fireball. From my window, it was just a ball of fire.
Yeah, we just opened up the blinds and just nothing but flames.
Yeah, a lot of people said they first found out what was going on because they can feel the heat coming inside into their homes. Surrounding areas, as I mentioned, surrounding fire departments are here as well assisting. This is impacting traffic too because a lot of people driving into the Austin area can see this fire. Bannister Lane is going to be shut down all day. That's what Austin Fire Department tells us. And for more on traffic and how it's affecting traffic, we're going to send over to Jane Lonsdale. Jane.
Let's go out to Jacqueline Sarkeesian. She's live on the scene with the latest. Morning, Jacqueline.
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, the Austin Fire Department says that this is probably the biggest fire they've seen in the past several years. They say thankfully they have found no one with injuries, but not everyone is accounted for, so they're still assessing this area. We know that 2 apartment buildings nearby where this structure started and caught on fire, well, those are considered a total loss. 8 cars parked from a nearby parking lot have also burned, and 3, maybe 4 other buildings might be affected. First reports of this fire started around 4 this morning. AFD says crews got here within 4 minutes and they started attacking the fire because you guys can see from this video just how massive it was. Hundreds of firefighters are here on scene. We also know local agencies and surrounding fire departments are here assisting. EMS was also here just on standby in case anyone needed to be transported. Austin police also on scene helping to direct traffic, but several residents say that they first heard about this fire because they felt the heat coming from inside of their homes. Several people, or hundreds of people, actually had to evacuate, and we spoke with some of those residents to kind of break down what they saw, what they heard when this fire first broke out.
I woke up because I felt heat coming through our window, and we keep it cool at night, and I couldn't figure out what it was. The ceiling fan was still on, but when I woke up, I realized that there was orange flickering from behind the blinds. I pulled back the blinds and saw the building across the street on fire.
The exact location of where this fire started is in the 4000 block of Bannister Lane in South Austin. AFD says Bannister Lane will be shut down for a good portion of today. I also have an update from Austin ISD, the police chief. He says that Galindo Elementary School is very close to where this fire is located. He says that this will not impact school. They will have classes today, but they will work with some students who cannot get here and are impacted by this fire because several residents in the surrounding areas had to evacuate, and several residents also lost their apartment units. So once again, this lane where I'm standing on Bannister Lane will be shut down for a good portion of the day. Reporting live in South Austin, Jacqueline Sarkeesian, Fox 7 Austin News.
2 nearby apartment complexes are a total loss. Hundreds of people had to evacuate. Jacqueline Sarkeesian is live on the scene with an update. Jacqueline.
Yeah, Austin Fire Department says that 2 apartment buildings are considered a total loss. 3 or 4 others are affected, but they're still assessing the damage. Now that it's daylight, I want to show you guys what the scene looks like right now. So this condo that was under construction is off of Bannister Lane here in South Austin. Well, you can see the fire is out. There are no more flames, but it's still smoking, and I'm imagining that it will be like this for the next several hours. Bannister Lane is shut down. AFD says that it'll probably be shut down for a good portion of the day. I want to show you guys some video what this scene looked like when we first got here around 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when the fire was first reported. AFD responded within 4 minutes from that time, and they were working around the clock trying to get that fire knocked out. Several residents had to evacuate, many of them telling me that they first heard about this fire because they could smell and feel heat coming into their homes. We're going to show you some of that interview we took with people earlier. Yeah, so a lot of residents were pretty freaked out when they saw what was happening. A lot of them had to evacuate. We know that some people are without a home this morning because, like I mentioned, 2 apartment buildings are totally destroyed from the fire. AFD says this is a pretty massive fire. They haven't seen something like this in several years. As you guys mentioned, this was a condo being built under construction. It was in the very early stages, just a framework was up. So still trying to figure out what caused this fire, how it started, but AFD says that could take several hours from now before they find out. Reporting live in South Austin, Jacqueline Sarkeesian, Fox 7 Austin News.
AFD says the 3-alarm fire is the largest they've dealt with in years. Jacqueline Sarkeesian is live on the scene with more. Jacqueline.
Yeah, guys, when we got here, it was pretty crazy just to see how big this fire was. But thankfully, so far, no injuries have been reported. We know that 2 apartment buildings were destroyed by the fire. We want to show you guys, we can see one of those buildings now, what's left as Kyle zooms in beyond this condo started the fire. The fire started around 4 o'clock this morning. It was a condo complex that was in the process of being built. Austin Fire, they still don't know how it started, but they are investigating that, and arson investigators are here on scene, which is kind of standard procedure anytime a fire happens. But we know 2 buildings are destroyed by the fire in addition to the condo complex. Several residents were affected. At first, more than 1,000 residents were without power. Austin Energy is here on scene. They said that they've been able to restore power to nearly 800 customers. 266 customers still don't have power. That's until the damaged poles and wires can be replaced, because several of the power lines caught on fire as well, just because this fire spread so quickly. But we spoke with several residents when this first happened, and when we first got here on scene, several of them were just kind of standing by, just in awe of what they were looking at. Yeah, so we still don't know what caused this incident, but just to give you some perspective on how large it was. Some people were reaching out to me on social media that they were able to see this fire all the way from New Braunfels. So it was just massive, and thankfully the fire is out. AFD put all the flames out, still smoking, and they're expecting that to be the case for the next several hours. The location of this fire off of Bannister Lane, and that's where I'm at right now, will be shut down for a good portion of the day. I know Jane has more on how this incident is affecting traffic. Jane.
Yeah, Jacqueline, thank you so much for that report.
The fire department just gave us that update. Jacqueline Sarkeesian is live at the scene with the latest. Morning, Jacqueline.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, I just spoke with the Austin Fire Department, who tells me that they are still looking for 3 people. They believe those 3 people were residents in one of the apartment buildings that is destroyed by the fire. And that building specifically is the one that you're looking at right now. There are a couple of firefighters still putting out hot spots in that area. So that is new information. They are still looking for 3 people. Austin Travis County EMS also put out a notification saying that they transported 1 woman to South Austin Medical Center with minor non-life-threatening injuries, and AFD says they believe those injuries were from her trying to jump out of the window, trying to escape this fire. So Austin Energy also still here on scene. They've restored a majority of the power for those customers who lost power initially when the fire broke out because the power lines caught on fire. So there's still about just under 300 customers with no power, and there are several crew members out here working to restore it as quickly as possible. You guys are seeing some video that we took when we first arrived on scene. It just gives you a really good idea of just how massive the fire was. It started at a 3-story condo complex that was under construction. It was in the very early stages of construction. Just the wood framework was up. This fire quickly spread, burning 2 apartment buildings, 8 cars that were parked in nearby garages, and AFD says possibly 3 or 4 other apartment buildings may be affected. And we did speak with several residents, nearby residents, who had to evacuate.
When I looked through my window, it was by far the most surreal thing. Like, just flames gushing everywhere, and it was really scary. It was a huge fire and it was like really close to everyone.
It was a fireball. From my window, it was just a ball of fire.
Yeah, we just opened up the blinds and just nothing but flames.
Yeah, very scary moments for those residents. A lot of them were standing by just in awe of what they were seeing. A majority of them have left now, but the fire started the location off of Bannister Lane, and right now that street is closed. AFD says it will be closed for the rest of the day. This is also affecting several other routes, streets, highways. So with more on that, I'm going to toss it over to Jane. Jane.
All right, Jacqueline, thanks so much for that report. Some incredible images coming out there.
Jacqueline Sarkeesian's live at the scene with more. Morning, Jacqueline.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, crews are still out here managing for any hot spots, but like you guys just mentioned, 3 people are still missing. AFD believes those 3 people were staying or inside of what used to be an apartment building that you're seeing right now directly behind me. Those are where the 3 people who are missing are believed to be. AFD says 2 apartment buildings are considered a total loss, this one being one of them. But the fire first broke out around 4 o'clock this morning in the 4000 block of Bannister Lane here in South Austin. We don't know what caused this fire or how it started. That remains part of the investigation. But what initially caught fire was a 3-story condo complex that was under construction. 8 cars burned from a nearby parking lot. As I mentioned, 2 apartment buildings are a total loss, and 3, maybe 4 others might be affected. As of now, no injuries have been reported. Several residents had to evacuate, and one resident tells me that Austin police were going door to door, knocking on their front doors, notifying them what was going on and to evacuate as soon as possible. Some also tell me that they first heard about this fire or were notified of this fire because they could feel the heat coming inside of their homes. And we do have an update from Austin Energy. They've been out here for the past couple of hours working to restore power. Initially, more than 1,000 customers lost power because of the fire, and now there are just under 300 customers who still don't have power. They're working to repair some of those poles that were damaged and restore the power. So that is some good news. And again, we don't know how this fire started, and Austin Fire will be out here for a good portion of the day. I'm with Senator Jane Lonsdale, who has more on how this is affecting traffic. Jane.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you so much for that report.
Jacqueline Sarkeesian is live at the scene with the latest. Morning, Jacqueline.
Good morning, guys. Thankfully, no one was near that apartment complex or the condo complex that was under construction, which initially caught on fire. We know that everyone has been accounted for, so that is great news. There is one person, though, who was injured. EMS transported a woman with minor non-life-threatening injuries. Earlier this morning, they believe she was injured because she was trying to escape her apartment building, which also caught on fire. But here's the exact location of where I'm at. It's in the 4000 block of Bannister Lane, very near Ben White Boulevard in South Austin. This is the location of where the fire first broke out around 4 o'clock this morning. AFD still working this case and trying to determine how the fire started, what caused this, but we know 2 apartment buildings are considered a total loss. Roughly 8 cars were burned because of the fire, how it spread, and 3 to 4 other apartment buildings may have also been affected. Austin Energy is also out here because several residents were without power. Actually, as many as 1,000 people were without power. Now, just under 300 customers have no power, and that's because there are damaged poles, and Austin Energy is out here to replace those poles. They recently updated us saying that they should be out here for another 2 to 3 hours repairing the lines along Bannister Lane, and until then, Bannister will remain closed. Austin Police is here on scene managing traffic. We spoke to several residents. They had to evacuate, and a lot of them first heard about this fire because they could feel the heat coming inside. So this is the place behind me that initially started the fire. It was an unoccupied condo complex that was in the very beginning stages of being built at this hour. Still no word on how it started. Reporting live in South Austin, Jacqueline Sarkeesian, Fox 7 Austin News.